we go. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. All the way from the deck of my fair ship here, we've come to you, and all the way across time and space, we are here tonight. It is with Allie Berry.
Awooga! First mate.
First mate. And she dressed up just on purpose.
Nautical theme on accident.
See, everything always comes together. All the way from the galley or down the hatches and swab the deck. That's what we do around here. If you don't like it, you don't like it, we will make you walk the plank. That's it. Off the plank you go. So you better do a good job tonight. I want to see you on that with the swab of a toothbrush, and I want it particularly clean. Now let's go get some booty here, and hang the scoundrels from the scallywags or whatever.
I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Everybody, I hope you're enjoying this because it's a lot of fun. We're all getting dressed up for Halloween. We're getting ready. We're enjoying the day, and we're getting ready for Nina's costume party on Nina the Mystic's channel. Link is in the description below. But we're having a lot of fun with it, having different costumes, as you can see. And just enjoying ourselves, being in that positive mood. If I can't be around people, I'm with all of you guys, and we're having a lot of fun together. And we're going to have a good, fun conversation tonight about positivity and negativity and the world around us. And we're going to find out what Allie Berry is all about, because I've looked at your channel. It's great. You talk about, you read books and talk about things. It's awesome. So now on to you. After I did the spiel, and I'm the captain, I say.
Yes. And you have a lovely ship. You look amazing. When I first linked up with him before we went live, I just was completely startled. I just started laughing a lot. It's such a pleasure. It's so good. And hello, everybody in the chat. This is awesome. Welcome. Happy Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's a Saturday. And we got all kinds of people. We got Scotty Boy joining us, Saturnian Sun, Zigzagzilla.
Desert Rose.
And Desert Roads, yeah. Oh, I can't see the thing. We got Nina the Mystic is in the house. Nina, we're getting ready for Halloween. I got my other costume on. Woohoo! We're a pirate today. We got Joe
and Max
Sapien.
Vision. Awesome.
He says, half asleep, but still alive to be here. That's right. Desert Rose. I'm glad Desert Rose made it. She always makes it in a little bit late. Paradox Fossils, thank you for coming tonight. And Delaney Pearl Jones, all the way from Wisconsin, and Big Al is in Louisiana, driving to Kershaw, Georgia, where the pirates really pirated. Okay.
Arr.
Arr. Okay, I'm going to sit down and take a seat. My booty will get hanged by them treacherous British, you know. Oh, man, I am a pirate, eh? And there's Max Vision. Thank you for coming on. Don't forget to go over to Max Vision's. He usually has a show. I'm sure he does tonight. A remote view class right after this show. So, well, there we go. Anyway.
Hey, Crystal Shaman. Welcome. Awesome.
I'm driving the bus too, so I got to get in. I got all kinds of stuff going on. Anyway, Allie, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your channel's all about. I've looked it up. It's a great channel. I know a lot of people here watch you over there, and you read some books and everything. Why don't you elaborate on that?
Sure. I just always have had an affinity with books. And well, maybe not always. When I was younger, it maybe my junior year of high school, I started to really, really love books. And from then on, it's been a big part of my life. And I've been collecting books all these years. And one day I just thought, you know what? I should just go live and narrate this book. So I did. And then it felt really good. I loved it. And so I started to continue to do that. And it's been tumultuous 2 to 3 past years, I think, for all of us. So many changes in the world. And for myself included. And being a part of books and being a part of the community that it's brought and learning about so many awesome things from, those that came before, it has been something it's a blessing in my life, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. So I keep doing it, and I keep learning more things, and it's ushering me along my path with others, and it feels like a blessing all around. So yeah, and I feel like it's good to just be ourselves. I think that that's part of the message I bring on my channel, that we should be ourselves, and that we should love ourselves as we are, with all of our faults and all of our strengths, and that when we don't know a word, we can look it up, because we're not superhumans. We don't know all the words, we can look that up and just be who we are. And then, it's just an experience. Like when you read books, we have feelings and thoughts and emotions. And that's one thing that it's this narrating online live like this. It's been teaching me to master my emotions, because I mean, we all do, right? But I mean, it's like, I feel a lot. And like, so, and have lots of thoughts and opinions about things. And so it's nice to be able to dabble into those here and there, but it's also nice to learn my own, like, if I feel really irritated about something, I feel really proud when I look back on a stream and I think no one's going to know that I was really irritated, or vice versa, right? So that's good. But the channel is just about being who we are, enjoying each other, learning things. And yeah, it's really a thankful thing. And also, thank you for inviting me up here. I've dotted in and out of your streams over the past couple of years. And I'm a proud owner of a Milky Way card deck. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, we got those laying around here somewhere.
I'm so thankful. It's cool.
Cards, they're awesome. I mean, if you haven't got your deck with all the people on them and everything, Big Al has them. You just go over to the Crystal Network, and there's the link is in the description below here. You go over there, you sign up, and he will send you a deck of cards. It's awesome. Now he's going to have the 72 angel cards coming out soon, which are going to be really awesome. They're all handmade.
That's so cool.
They're beautiful. They go through each one. He has printed on there how to say the names, too,
cool.
which is what I really like, because I'm the master of mispronunciation. That I am.
I think you even struggled with that one, dude. That was perfect.
Thank you. See what I mean? I swear I know words, but then when they come out of my mouth, I'm like, what happened to that? It's in my head right, but it ain't coming out of my mouth right.
Most of it's not lost in translation. I bet most of the time people understand what you're saying, even if the words aren't quite. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Just dialect and charm.
It was probably my upbringing. When I was a kid, I still to this day cannot say aluminum.
Oh, aluminum?
Yes, aluminum.
Can you say aluminium?
Aluminium. Yes, I can say that. Do you know what a colander is?
You mean a colander? Wait, a colander?
Yes, but when I grew up, it was a colander.
Oh my gosh! The first thing when you said that, I thought of flowers, and then I was like, "Oh wait, pasta."
Yes. How about do you know what a babushka is?
Oh, yeah, it's like one of those hats that you wear. It's like a scarf.
It's a scarf. Yes, scarf is a babushka. You know what kind of parents I had that were talking, and I grew up. I knew what a babushka was, and I knew what a colander was, and I knew what aluminum was. There you go. Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. She watches too.
They're just isms. They're a part of your charm, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. And you go to a wedding,
A wedding.
Wedding, yeah. Going to the wedding. But anyway, it's all good.
Code, awesome. Code's here. So cool.
But yeah, I love that when I looked at your channel and I knew I had to have you on because first thing off I see this one and I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
all teaching of all ages. Manly P Hall. She's a Manly P Hall fan. Yes. And
He is so cool, right? I
yeah,
love his books.
yeah.
And this one, I mean, it is something. Actually, I'm gonna be doing a narration of Manly P. Hall tomorrow. I was
Mhm.
actually gonna do it today, but I guess my body was like, "Nah, we're taking a nap, like a 3-hour nap."
You know, do you feel like I know you kind of do these shows, and I don't know if you got a good schedule or what, but does things come to you like me? It's like one day I will just go there and I know I'll just like, I got to pick this book. And then I'll pull it off the shelf and I'm like, yeah. And
Mhm.
I page through it and it's like, wow, I was just thinking of that. I got to read,
Yes,
like, where did that come from?
absolutely. I think it's the connection to all things, like how everything is so intrinsically, interchangeably
Mhm.
inextricably connected. It's the spirit, the working of ways, the breath, the thought, the animation of it. It's alchemy and it's all the synchronization. I don't know if you get number syncs or things like that, but when we have these coincidences, which I do not believe in like that, when you're thinking about something and it starts coming back around, it's because our thoughts are so powerful.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel led to the books that I'm read also, that I read also. And sometimes too, like I'll be because there's so many books that are amazing that I'd love to either revisit or visit for the first time.
Yes.
And my mom's here. Yay!
Lindenberry. Yes. Well, look at that.
Cool.
Your mother showing up.
Um,
My mom would show up. I know she watches the thing afterwards, but
it's so cool.
ain't that cool?
But yeah, I'll be like looking at my shelves of books and being like, "Oh, this one's so good, this one's so good." And then like for a couple of days or something before it's even time for a new book. And then the day that it happens, it's like apparent. And sometimes it's something completely different than like 4 or 5 of the books that I was thinking were possibles. And then I look over and I'm just like, "Boom, nope, it's this one. Boom, nope, it's this one." So it has been like that for me. And sometimes even in a dream, that was part of the whole women who run with the wolves things.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting when we have all these syncs that happen in our lives.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
and
think that when we
you've
notice
done
them.
so many. Right now, you've been doing this 9 powers of women. You did the species with amnesia. The
Yeah.
you did the one Robert Sepher whatever his name.
Yes, that's the species with amnesia and gods with amnesia.
Yeah, and I listen to his videos all the time. He's got the videos on
He's
YouTube,
so good.
and it's like, wow, this guy's awesome. I mean, I'm listening all the time, and I'm like, I didn't even know. Like, I gotta
Mhm.
wrote all these books. I'm like, I know he wrote books or whatever, but he does great YouTubes.
Yes, Atlantean Gardens. Honestly, before I was ever a YouTube person, like before YouTube became a much bigger part of my life.
Hmm.
I never had like an account or anything like that I did ever anything with. I just had an account so that I could like things and that I could subscribe to things. And my longest standing people that I would actually really come to YouTube for was for Robert Sepper and Ralph Smart. And those were my 2 big ones I love to watch. But it wasn't like it is for me now. Like I'm on YouTube almost every single day now, even if I'm not live. But
Hmm.
I've been really aware of how much I've been online though lately, and it's been something that I'm like thinking there should be more balance in my life with that, right?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing though. If you're being compelled to share, there's times where I really didn't, and then it's like, but then there's days that I do, and then I'll make like 3 or 4 videos in one day, and I just tape a few, because I
Mhm.
work a lot and I don't know when I'm going to get home or I need extra sleep or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then I still get to share, and it's like, oh, but I get so enthused. I could do a 5-hour show, but who wants to listen to a 5-hour show?
Right. I hear you.
Mhm.
But sometimes the length is good, but that was something too because when I before I was doing the narrations online, I was linking up with my bandmate Corey, and we were going live and playing live music. So we
Mhm.
love making music.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I said, like I as much as I love playing music with you and we get so into it, sometimes it feels like we could go on and on and on for 5 hours. I
Yeah.
think that 2 hours is the longest I want to go on a stream, because then that's like a full feature film. It's like a long movie that's pressing the bounds of people's attention spans. And you know what I mean? Especially in today's age. The younger we go, the way things have been as far as
Yeah.
screens are involved.
I listened to some of the music. You guys doing the music thing. That was pretty good. It's like,
Thanks.
you
Yeah.
got stuff there. Yeah, like I said, I checked it all out. I was like, wow, you got like this big round world of stuff, not just stuck in a niche. A lot of people get stuck in that niche, but I see you don't limit yourself to that. Stuff like that. Uh,
There's so much to get into, right?
yeah,
Oh,
and why stand, like I try to focus right now, I'm trying to focus on one thing or another, like towards Halloween, but then there's other things, there's so many other things I want to talk about too, but then I try to focus it all together. It's like, okay, you got to get your ducks in a row, and focus on this, and everything has to be based on that sort of in some sort of way, for at least
priorities.
a little while, but that still gives you a variety. Otherwise, you're just all over the place. Today you're talking about Manly P. All, and tomorrow you're talking about UFOs, and then the next day you're talking about ancient alien stuff with
Hmm.
or Madame Blavatsky, and then Indians. And it's like,
Yeah.
how do you relate all of them together? But then again, if you stick to it and go, well, today I'm going to talk about the Indians, and what they seen were UFOs. And how do I do it? Well, here's a story. And then tomorrow we're
Hmm.
going to talk about UFOs. And what does Manly P. Hall have to say about UFOs?
Hmm.
Meshed it all together. And of course,
Hmm.
he creates this narrative, and you can kind of, wow, he's really onto that. He's, might put somebody's thinking together, you know.
Yeah, it's a mashup because yeah, it is. Everything is so cyclical. Everything goes together, and it's the balance of life. It's like nature. It is mind blowing how it all
Yeah.
works together like that.
Well, like we started out on this Atlantis. I did like two or three, maybe four deep dives into Atlantis, right?
Hmm.
And we found out
What
through
do you
those
mean deep dive? Like,
trying to figure out, was it real? Was it
got it.
alien? Where did these people go, and who were they? Can we figure this out? We narrowed it down. Lucky Smith was on, and he said that he talked to his spirit guides, and they said it's gone. You're not going to find it, and really. So no trace. Don't bother. Okay, great. But um, the people that were there and their traditions, they moved on.
Yeah,
And,
bloodline
and
survives.
yes, and exactly. And then we looked up things like, I got the Emerald Tablets, book. And
Yeah.
I started reading in there, and I was like, wow, it says here that both he got in his ship, his flying ship, and flew there, picked them up as the island was sinking, and took them over to Kem, which is Egypt.
Hmm.
So that means he had a spaceship of something, or well, maybe not a spaceship, but a ship that could
Some
fly.
sort of
You know,
vehicle.
you start finding these tidbits, and then
If
it says,
not,
well, then
yeah.
uh, well, and then I've been doing the Indian thing,
What's that?
and like I was showing you this book from
Mhm.
1842. Now, in this book, I was
Yeah.
going through. It was going talking about the first Incan ruler, right? And he showed up
Cool.
with his sister out of the middle of nowhere on the banks of Lake Titicaca with clothes that were woven clothes that nobody had ever seen before. And he brought
Hmm.
knowledge and wisdom of agriculture and weaving and law and order and politics and all these things.
Architecture.
And yeah, he brought knowledge. And what did he say he did? He came to reclaim his lost empire, or his lost, and I'm thinking, what?
It's
You know,
cool.
mic drop. It's like,
Yeah,
really?
it's so cool. I
You
love
know,
that.
oh yeah. And then there was stories like of Hiawatha. and he
Mhm.
came and there was very few Indians, and then he gave them language. And then where did he go? Oh, he would come and go in his flying silver canoe. You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
what? you know,
His
what?
vimana.
Yeah. Well, and then Hermes went to Egypt,
Mhm.
and all these people went different places, and it's kind of telling you that the island was sinking, and these people went to all corners of the earth, and they did things.
Mhm.
They inspired. Hermes says when he left Atlantis and came to Egypt, all those people there were barbarians. He refers to them as barbarians,
Yeah.
and he civilized them. You know,
Yeah, initiates. Initiates.
yeah. It just kind of goes together. And where are we today? And and other ones went to different parts of the world. I'm sure to
Mhm.
China, probably to Australia, to the
To people of
north,
the world.
all over the world. And even if there was only a handful, they would have been enough to give the spark to get us here where we are today. But it might have taken thousands of years. That was thousands of years ago.
Mhm.
So yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting stuff. But see how you can build. We're finding Atlantis, and really we found that Atlantis is all around us. It's
Mhm.
everywhere. We have Atlantis right in front of us. This screen is Atlantis. We just been
Yeah.
recreating it little by little by little by little.
I read The New Atlantis, and that was interesting, and Manly P. Hall's ideas on what Atlantis is, they are America, that this
Yeah.
is the land, Atlantis is America.
Hmm.
The new yeah,
Yeah. So
fascinating thoughts.
see how that all came together. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
amazing, how but I think I had a very valuable study out of it, and I think I
Yeah.
went somewhere with it versus we're gonna dig through the dirt and find this bottle, and this bottle, look at it, it's got things on it and it says Atlantis on it. No, I'm going to travel to Africa and risk my life to find a shred of pottery or a rock. Yes, this is a black rock, and it says, and these are the mountains, and this has to be it. I can do all of that from my desktop right here, and some books.
I feel you, but man, I do imagine the adventure of, rock hounding and digging for precious things, and who knows if that would be pottery or some sort of dig site. Man, what an adventure that would be.
Well, the thing is we have our own adventures right here in our own backyard,
True
you know,
that. Right where
and
we are at all times.
yes, exactly. Like I'm in North Dakota, and
Mhm.
there's tons of Indians out here. I mean, I got a cave. I'm over here somewhere. Somebody said that there's a bunch of
Michelle.
you know Indian paintings on it. Yeah, Michelle Can-Am free.
It's
Our
awesome,
love,
though.
our love girl. She's always saying love, love, love,
I
child.
love her.
Yes, she's awesome. Um,
Yeah,
but
in Ohio, there's a lot of history here too, and we've got a lot of, we've got a lot of those with the Serpent Mound and other
yeah,
mounds that are around us.
yeah.
Lots of ancient culture here. It's
Yes,
pretty
and
pretty
there's
fascinating.
way more that ancient culture there than you actually can think of. I mean, they got the mounds. How many
Mhm.
giant bones they have dug up in Ohio of all places?
Right? I
And
know, it's so cool. I
have you
visited those sites here.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, they're right there for you to. Where is it? I think was it Ohio or was it Pennsylvania? I don't know, somewhere in there.
I
Um,
love Pennsylvania.
yeah, those places are really cool. What was it? There was a stone. Somebody brought a stone there. I forget what stone, a philosopher's stone, and threw it into the river. I forget what river it is. Right there. So I don't know what happened.
Wow, I never heard that. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a story about the philosopher's stone, and the guy had it, was creating a bunch of bad juju, and he threw it into the river, and never to
Hmm.
be seen again. So you
I'm
know,
super fascinated by alchemy.
yeah, yeah,
I
and it
wanna
is.
build a laboratory in my apartment. I really do though. Like
Well, that's the thing. People think, oh, I got to do all this stuff to make alchemy, but you You really don't. I mean, every time you
Mm-mm.
bake a cake is alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
You put ingredients together, you mix a drink. If you're a drinker, you mix the drinks and you come up with something that's
Mm-hmm.
alchemy. I mean, it's
It's
not.
true, and I feel like I've always had a knack for, or maybe not always. Maybe right at the beginning I wasn't like a great cook, but excuse me. I grew to have a good knack in the kitchen, but when you're surrounded by cooks too, you learn it. But I think it might be something like as we grow and you experience things, you either gravitate towards things or you don't. And having an eyeball for things, for a taste of things, that's alchemy, learning what goes well together. And like baking itself is a total science.
Yeah.
But while that is all true, I am super interested in like energetic alchemy work with like elemental
Yes.
elements,
Hmm.
um which that is involved in all of the stuff that you just listed as well. But I'm talking about like tinctures and elixirs and
Yes.
potions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
have you read up on it? I mean, I when I read up on tinctures, I was so pumped. I'm like, oh
they're
man,
so cool.
yeah, it's real easy to make. I mean, you got to get yourself like some vodka or alcohol or whatever, and you put
Hmm.
that you
Or
get
make
whatever you
your
got.
own.
Yeah, that's making your own. I mean, how is it?
Hmm.
It's like you can make this yourself. You don't have to go to the store and buy it.
Exactly.
People been doing that for hundreds and hundreds of years, and here
Hmm.
we have gotten programmed through our ears and our eyes to just go buy it,
Yep.
and instead of saying, hey, we can just pick it off that tree or get that dandelion out there, and
Hmm.
and we can make our own.
I
It's
think that even worse than the consumerism of the way of things is that most people don't know anything about the way the things work that they are buying and using. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I couldn't build you a computer.
Yes, yes, yeah. You can't build a computer. I mean, do you ever watch that
I
one
know people who could, but I couldn't do it, you know?
you ever watch that guy? He did a show where he made, I don't know, it was something on something where he made a toaster, and
No.
he had a mine. He says, "I'm going to make a toaster," and he went out and mined all the material, smelted it, put it together, and I forget how many hours and hours he spent making this rudimentary, crude toaster oven, to cook a piece of toast.
Yeah. It's
And I
for
thought,
There's this guy that has this channel, he's this kid, and he went through decades and like back way back when, like we're talking way back into history
mm-hmm,
on when things like Bronze Age, how things are made, and like going through the process of growing the stuff, smelting the things, going to the places and getting the right kind of rocks to get all the things to like make a glass magnifying thing, like the first magnified glass. And it's just insane that you go through to do that, especially with the skills that at least history has espoused that were used at the time. So, but anyways, I don't know what that kid's channel was, and I haven't seen him in a long time, like maybe 2 years, but that was some fascinating stuff. Like I watched him make yarn and threads and like grow the stuff to make it and all that jazz. I like it.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Growing a garden is a chore. Planting the seeds, watching the stuff grow up, and then when you get done with it, you have to make it into something. To preserve
Mhm.
it. Yeah, sure. Anybody can
Absolutely.
pick the apple off the tree, but then make some apple juice or make a pie.
Mhm.
Or there you go,
Right.
it's alchemy all over again. We
Mhm. Yeah,
everything.
it's so cool. Harvest.
Yeah, but people take it for
Yeah.
granted. They take a lot of things for granted, and um, and that's where people fall short is because they don't realize what they really are doing, and then
Mhm.
there it is. But you could do it differently and come out with something maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, and so we move on through life and we're learning, and we can only approach situations with the knowledge we have now and work from that perception
Hmm. Oh
as
yeah,
it grows. Mhm.
yeah, and a lot of the ways things grow are by reading these big books. Maybe and
Yeah,
people get intimidated when you go there and
it's
you go,
true.
oh. there's this big book. That doesn't mean you're going to have to read the whole thing. If nothing else, pick
Yes.
out some things that interest you in here. It's like that's
Hmm.
what I do. If you can see the little markers I got,
Yeah.
those are things that interested me, and I go, oh, okay. The tabernacle in the wilderness, that was interesting. The
Hmm.
emerald tablets, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, the Solomon's universal wisdom, that was interesting. And I put some tabs by them. I said, I'm going to read those, uh,
Yeah.
because otherwise, the whole book, after you get going, you're like, okay, I'm getting bored, and then you're never going to finish the thing.
Right. I hear you. I think that's part of my hope too, is that by narrating like this, that it gives people it's for anyone. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be, you could just be whoever. You could be whoever, and you could pick up a book and enjoy it. And you don't have to be intimidated by books. You don't have to be intimidated by all the words therein or what you're taking on. That, like, if you just chunk at it little by little, you make your way and you learn things and it feels awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it does, and that's the thing too. As so, I labeled this positive and negative, and I sent you a thing, and I was doing this. Speaking of the book, I got it here somewhere if I find it. It was I don't know if you ever seen that one. Oh, where did I put it? Now I sent it out too. Um, Go on, I'll find it in a second. I had it set,
No worries.
but anyway, it was that. The Explorer race with Zoosh, and I've been reading that. It's kind of really interesting. He wrote like bunches of books, and supposedly it's a channeled thing. Now that
Ooh, interesting.
yeah. Give me a second, I'll find it here somewhere. But anyway, Zoosh is the channeler, and he talks about. You know what? I want to find something, then I can't. That's the problem of having too many books sometimes. Um, I
Mine
swear
aren't alphabetized.
yeah, neither are mine. I
But
swear it was
I
right here.
had to put them in order so that they go in perfect alignment. They look so nice. It's so pleasing.
I wish I had. So nice, but yeah, I used to have bookshelves, and now I have a mess, and I don't know where I put
I
that.
don't like
Gosh,
these
I
ones.
have to show you. Anyway, I know I had it here, and I probably just put it up there somewhere. But anyway, uh, okay, now it's bothering me. Okay, it's got to be.
What's it about?
It's about the guy who channeled stuff.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Zeus is a nope, that ain't it either. Okay, well I cannot find it. I must have put it somewhere else. Anyway, Zeus, he is a creator, a guide. He was a planet. He's incarnated, and he helped the creator, establish Earth. And he's talking about all these things that's going on around us and why are we here? And he's saying you're an
cool.
explorer race. You're here to grow and then go
It's a school.
out from here and spread your uniqueness. And what is your
Yeah.
uniqueness? Is you're all individuals. You like to create, and you have negativity. He says
Hmm.
negativity creates creativity. Because when you have something negative in your life, you like to, invent something to make it better, right?
Transmute it. That's right.
Unfortunately, he says a good negativity is about 2 or 3%. We're like 46.
Hmm.
But and once you get too high, you start getting chaos. And I'm thinking, yeah, boy, look at the world around us. But most
Hmm.
people, and then you start thinking about how much creativity is in your life and how much negativity. Is there a balance? Do you have too much? Do you try to be more positive? Sure, everybody's out there. You can cuss and swear a little bit or whatever about, this ain't right. But then you change things. Hey, that didn't work. I'm going to be creative and I'm going to change that. And there brings out
Hmm.
your creativity. Poets, they write about what's affecting them. Artists draw pictures, and let out their frustrations, what's going on in their heads. And
Hmm.
but the thing is we're here, we're doing our thing, but if we don't start balancing that, we're going to go wrong, and then we're going to have to start all over. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that we're right where we're always meant to be, and so I think that we're right where we should be, and that because we're always where we're meant to be, that this duality of this balance, I think that it's in the mind of the beholder, whatever they're seeking, because that's the part that's control, and can as much as in control, we create these habits in our lives, and are we creating positive habits or negative habits? And it's up to us. We're allowed to do any of those things.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not concerned about the starting over of things, or like end of the world scenarios like that. I have been in my life before. I do I find that I like the idea of feeling self-sufficient and being able to take care of myself and be a part of taking care of those that I love, and knowing how things work so that I feel like I have a bit of security on that. And I think that doing that and giving thanks helps me build positive habits. And in doing that, when we let our light shine and we continue to make positive choices for ourselves, that it gives others permission to do that.
Hmm.
And I still think that it's really important that we deal with our shadow selves and our shadow sides, because like you were saying, like um through the chaos, then that's when the transmutation happens. And I mean, you can keep going down the same path, but if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing. And hopefully, as we live and experience and do things, we start to realize that in a personal way, and we make different choices and start to learn who we are. But yeah, I'm not worried about it cracking. I'm just concerned about living in the world as I'd like to create it. That's what I strive to do. And that involves both my light and my dark. But I feel better when I am in, a happiness mode, when I am in a positive mode, when I feel like I am motivated, or I feel good that I got to relax, and it's not something where there's these incessant negative thoughts. So being the master of our thoughts, that's important. That's I think a lifelong goal if we want to learn to transcend our primal base instincts. And we don't have to if we don't want to, and that's okay.
Yeah. And nobody's
Every-
saying that we have to be perfect all the time. And you're right. See, now you realize that you have balance in your life and you try to keep it like that so you don't have chaos. But you notice when things aren't going right, sometimes they feel like chaos until you can get them back in balance.
oh
And
yeah,
I think there's a lot of people out there that are in that chaos all the time. And the world, feeds
promotes
off
it.
that chaos, and they feed into that chaos, like by
Hmm.
watching the news. Oh my God, it's nuclear
Yeah.
war, it's terrible, it's
Hmm.
terrible. Oh my gosh, which side are we on? Are we on the good side or the bad side? We got to nuke. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. Wait a minute.
Hmm.
It's like you said, hey, I'll take a nap, things will be better, blah blah. Don't worry about what's going on over there. Don't listen, plug your
Yeah,
ears, don't watch the boob tube, don't get programmed. Think
I
for
second that.
yourself. Yeah, feel from the heart. The truth is, in here. And the higher you vibrate yourself up, the more you're gonna. I forget which guy was saying is that pretend that you're a frequency wave, right?
We
And,
are
and yeah,
broadcasters.
yes, exactly. So just imagine yourself as this wave on that thing. The thing I'm talking about, and you're doing this, right? You're a long wave, right? You
Hmm.
and every time you take a dip down, or a dip up or whatever, whichever way you want to imagine it, you're gonna be hitting the truth. The truth is a line in the middle, and you're this wave, and you hit the truth, you miss the truth, you hit the truth, you miss the truth, right? Okay,
Interesting.
but since the wave is long, you're hitting the truth. Okay, you raise your vibration. You raise yourself higher. Your vibration goes up. Oh boy, you're hitting the truth more. You're hitting the truth more.
Yeah, it
Okay,
shifts.
yeah. think about it. When you get really high, high frequency, it goes up and down more. Boom, 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 boom. Well, now you're
Mhm.
hitting the truth all the time. Boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom. And that's the thing.
Through
A lot of
giving
people
thanks.
are just doing this, and they're getting the truth every little while. You and me, we're getting the truth like we're like this. And then there's other people that are doing this, and they're hitting that truth line in the middle all
Mhm.
the time, and they don't have.
Yeah.
You see, that's kind of a
That's
good
fascinating.
try it. That was my example here. I
I
wanted
have to
to.
I have to throw this out there just because I find it so fascinating. I know that when we look at diagrams about the waves of things like sound
Yeah.
waves, that they do look like this, like you were explaining, this up and down motion. But in fact, when they're traveling, they're actually spiraling. And it just looks like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Anyways, I love that, and I just always have to bring it up whenever we talk about waves because when I learned that, it blew my mind.
Well,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
and the solar system, does the same thing. Everybody thinks it's just this ring and it just circles like that and doesn't move, but really it's going through the space like a whirlwind, and all the planets are following behind. It's the same
Interesting.
exact thing. If you really look it up, that's the way the solar system is going because the sun is moving around the universe and we're following like a little tail behind it, but the planets are following as they go. But anyway, that's another subject for another time. But um, you were saying, oh gosh, now I'm left.
Waves,
The
positive
wave,
and
yeah,
negative balance.
yes, you're in the wave. You got the things going on. I was right on the tip of my tongue there. God, I hate when that happens. And then I got talking about the planets.
It's all good.
Any,
All things for reasons.
it's all right. But anyway, it's just the point that when we're if we don't Joe Sapien, that's what it was. He got me off
Cool.
on that. Joe says what do we do with the bad guys? Exile them? No, no, no. Joe, we don't exile the bad guys because there's what it is everybody around you may be a bad guy. So by me raising it's like I'm the medicine, and I'm raising my vibration, and it's spawning off on everybody else. And if I say nice things, or if I'm lifted up, just like you're lifted up, and we come here and we talk to people, or you look at your neighbor and you wave and you say hello over there, he might be in a really bad mood, and then you transfer some of your energy to him, and he goes, that guy waved at me. That was pretty nice. And it might change his whole day.
Yeah, you never know.
And that's the thing. It might help him, you know, get going again. I mean,
Mhm.
I've heard those stories about where somebody was about ready to kill themselves or something, and somebody came up and did something nice for him and said, wow, that was the nicest thing ever, and I was going to go out and jump off the bridge, but the guy came up and handed me coffee out of the middle of nowhere, and just changed my life about humanity, and here I am
Yeah.
today, total success, and blah 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 blah.
Right. That's
But
good. That's cool.
that's the thing. You don't have to go over there and shake that guy up and say, listen here, don't be bad anymore. You
Yeah,
just
it's not
just
really our place.
just be you and be a
Mhm.
better you and project that energy out. And
Yeah,
that's what.
whatever that means to you too, because like our judgment of what's better is not going to be better for everyone because not one thing is for everyone. And
Yeah,
so it like yeah, the whole judgment thereof, even of ourselves, it's
yeah,
kind of a slippery slope, right? So trying to tell someone to be this way or that, all we can do is like lead through example and
yeah,
trial and error because we're doing this for the first time, all of us.
yes,
I
yeah,
mean, at least in this consciousness of this
yes,
body and this lifetime, if you
yes.
believe in past lives as I do. But
I
yeah,
Well, that's the thing. And do you ever walk up to somebody and they're there, and you just smile at them? Do they smile back? Most of the time, somebody will smile back, just kind of like yawning. You're yawning, it's contagious,
it is
right?
contagious. Dude,
Well,
oh my gosh, at the supermarket this week, this girl refused to smile at me. And like we were like we made eye contact at
mm,
like the ends of the aisles and I smile at her. I'm still smiling, straight face. She as far as I'm concerned, we both won. I didn't stop smiling and she didn't stop not smiling.
Well,
It was a draw.
and see, and that's the thing about,
Weird.
she might have been having the worst day in the world, but by you smiling, it maybe made her go through that day, and even though she didn't smile,
Hmm.
maybe that positive energy, she must have been in a really bad mood or something.
Maybe she was. And like I wasn't aggressive either, but I was like startled. It was like but so I put my eyes down a couple times and like look up and she was still looking my way. So I made eye contact with her like 3 times. But I was like, dang, I think she's trying to get me to not smile. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. We did the
I feel like
we
she
did
was challenging me.
Well, it's kind of like the test with the rice. The rice in the jars. You say you love the jar, you don't do anything, and then you hate the jar. And what happens to the rice? It turns moldy, or it stays fresh. You know, you're projecting your energy onto that rice. You know,
Yeah.
you're doing the
Hmm.
same with people. Wake up, people. You're doing the same thing. You don't have to do anything. Say something nice. Have a smile.
Yeah.
Just be
Be
nice.
genuine.
Yes, and that will change that person's rice from moldy to good.
Yeah, earlier tonight I was talking about Dr. Emoto's research on water molecules, and
Yeah,
it's the same thing. And, praying over water, meditating over water, it changes the molecular structure of water. And it's just fascinating how beautiful and artistic and crystalline these water molecule structures become with words like angel, thank you, I love you, and how toxic and disgusting they look when it's you make me sick, and things like evil, and the and pollution and stuff like that. It when I learned that too, that was a long time ago, I was like, no way, this is so cool. I mean, our bodies are 60 to 75% water, maybe even more. I mean, for you mermaids out there, right? So I mean, yeah,
well, yeah,
that's a lot of power. Just a prayer, a simple prayer over your liquid, a simple prayer over your own self, for the world, anything. Our thoughts are powerful. It's
yes.
very impressive.
And
It is exciting.
it is very. I bring up this happened to me. And everybody's like, oh, this praying over stuff or whatever, and you don't have to like, oh, get up, pray and then blah blah blah. Just look at the things like I before I eat my food or something, I'll say, oh, thank you. I'm cutting up my potato or whatever, and I'm like,
Hmm.
thank you, potato. I love you. Thank you for giving me nourishing. Thank you. I'm gonna love
Yes.
you. Blah blah blah. And cutting it up or whatever. I went out to my garden the other day and I'm picking potatoes, right? And I went
Hmm.
out there in kind of a bad mood, and I thought, oh my gosh, wait a minute.
I'm putting this energy into my food.
Yeah. And I stopped.
Yeah.
I thought of some happy thoughts. I got into a better mood, and then I started picking my potatoes and digging them up. And I thought, I started thinking about the potatoes like, wow, this is so wonderful that I'm picking. These are beautiful potatoes that are going to give me nourishment. This is,
Alchemy,
yeah,
transmutation. That's not really a
yeah.
word, I don't think.
And maybe I'll make my potatoes last longer, not rot, and things like that. Can you imagine? Oh, I cussed and swore over the potatoes, and yelled at them, and then I brought them into the house, and I wonder why they all rotted in 2 weeks. Why?
Right.
Hmm. I did
Hmm.
what?
Energy.
Yeah, but until how come they don't teach us stuff in
Mary
school?
wins.
Yes,
Awesome.
Mary is.
I love you, Mary.
Yes, Mary is wonderful too. Believe it or not, I sent her one of these books here. She,
Ooh, that's awesome.
yeah, I had a couple too.
Oh, juicy,
I hit the
juicy.
wrong button on the computer and I ordered like 3 copies.
Hey, that's
But
good gift giving then.
that's right. I do that every now and then. My big
Yeah,
fat
I'm
thumb.
getting into the first real chapter of that book tomorrow.
Oh
At
yeah,
sometime in the evening. I haven't made the link for it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It took 3 streams to get through just the introduction.
yeah. Like I said, I skipped through a lot of that. I did the Tabernacle in the Wilderness, and I did Solomon, and I did a few other ones in the, and like I said, whatever
Cool.
compels me, and stuff I didn't know, like the Tabernacle in the Wilderness. What the heck
Mhm.
was that? You
Right?
know, all about. I had no idea until I read it, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. Or how about the cup of what the heck was it? It was the Oh,
The
the
Holy
cup
Grail?
that the Holy Grail, the Holy Grail. What
Mhm.
made that? And he was like, it was a green stone. Yeah, he says it's green. It's a stone. It was green. It came from the sky, and ended up on this cup, and that's what makes it powerful. Is this gem? Blah blah blah, and it had magical powers. Maybe the whole cup was made out of it. Who knows? But then he's going on about how this thing was. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Here I'm thinking, the Holy Grail is this cup all the time. Yeah, it's the stone that makes it powerful.
I've the research I've done into the Holy Grail is about the Holy Grail being more like about that trek that we take within, that it's a symbolic expression of going within and taking the steps to enlightenment, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it can mean a whole lot of things. I'm just
Mhm.
saying is that he was talking in the physical sense that
Yeah.
it's meaning, and then of course, like you said, it's all these other philosophical meanings of that. But
Yeah.
in the physical sense, that would have been it emanates with green, and green is growth, and
Is
green
also, yeah, it's healing.
and healing. Yes, and what
Yeah.
what is it? What does the whole of the Grail do? When you drink water or something from it, it gives you
Endless life.
everlasting life. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, Indiana
Transcendence.
Jones.
Nirvana.
But anyway, yeah. See,
That's true.
I didn't even know that, and I learned a little
It's
bit of
so
something.
cool.
Yeah. You know,
It's
and
so cool.
and and the thing is if it resonates with you, then it must be more truthful. And because not everything has truth, and Manly P. Hall doesn't know everything. He didn't have all the everything. Neither
Mm-mm.
does Madame Blavatsky, or neither does
Mhm.
all these other people that I can't even think of them. There's
That have
another
come
guy.
before. There's so
Yeah,
many, and I'm
there's
so
so
thankful
many.
for them.
That Robert Zephyr, he knows a lot,
Mhm.
but he doesn't have all the truths either. You know,
Right.
but
Mhm.
everybody has a little bit of truth.
That's
You know,
right.
they
It's all
if
recorded.
you read the Bible, so many people. I'm sure there's plenty here, myself included, have read the Bible, and there's a grain of truth in it, but a lot of it's fluff and not so good here and there.
A
But a
lot of
little,
it's numerology and code breaking too. It's pretty
yeah,
fascinating.
yeah, exactly. But there's a little bit of truth in it. And take it with a grain of salt. Those stories are metaphors and parables to make your mind
Mhm.
think. Buddha told parables, and
Mhm.
grim fairy tales with parables and things. The Indians told myths and legends.
The Greeks.
The Greeks, yeah, exactly. They
Mhm.
all told these things not because they were so real, but they were to get your mind to thinking. And they were
They were
based,
symbols.
yes, they were based on a bit of a truth, and then elaborated on to make you go pay attention. Because who's going to pay attention if I just laid it out flat? It'd be like, well, that's a really boring story. But
Mhm.
now if you say, well, it was a giant, and then he had a big club, and then there was these
The
three little billy
Nephilim.
goats, and they were trying to cross the bridge, and he kept pumping his club or something. You'd say, ooh, that sounds cool. What it was about? you know, you know
I
what
hear you.
now let's pay attention. Really, a giant?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing that people come to YouTube for. They come to learn things and they come to be entertained. And I guess the parables of the past are just the same.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, that was the YouTube of yesteryear. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
it was. It was.
I think that's what
Storytelling.
the storyteller would come to town,
The
or
Bard.
the yeah, and
Mhm.
like in the Indian stuff I was been reading, they would sit around, and grandfather, he would tell the story over and over and over,
Yes.
and they would sit around the campfire. What else do they have to do? Listen to the radio, you know, uh, and then
What they're doing is way cooler, I think, than listening to a radio. Not that I do not enjoy listening to a radio, but I just mean the idea of growing up in a place where you live with the land, you live with the seasons and the nature. Like that's been something when I started to become really angry and upset about the things that I'd learned in history that I found to be untrue.
yeah,
And then I started to get really upset about holidays and the reasons we do all this bullshit. And I was just like, dude, I don't want to do any of that stuff. This is all just fake to me.
Yeah.
I really decided that I wanted to learn to live closer with nature and with the seasons, and to celebrate things that I was naturally drawn to, and learn to do that with other people who felt like celebrating those things. And I'm really thankful that my life has been growing in those areas so much. And but yeah, the things that we've been told and the way that things are, that's all that paradigm, the matrix. It's either you're in or you're not. And it's kind of hard to have one foot in both places. And at this point in time, it's like taking a stand, I think. That's the major shift. And I think that's where it comes into play about really taking charge of what your focus is and who you are becoming, and living in the now,
Yeah.
and stopping the self-hate and the hate for others. But yeah, I think I kind of spiraled on that one.
Well, yeah. Well, it's all good. The thing is I did the same thing. I got really upset when I realized that a lot of the stuff that I learned wasn't really real or based. I took it because I was told to have faith and believe in it. I
Yeah,
was told it in school. That's facts. It's in this book. It's true.
exactly.
Don't question. But then when I started questioning, it's like, well, that's based on something else. That word means something different. You know, you're saying it says this, but in reality, it says,
Yes.
the ancient meaning of it is this. It's like
Mhm.
saying, like we've changed words here, like cool. Hey, that's cool. But if you go back 100 years and you said, hey, that's cool, and say, no, it's hot in
It's
here.
hot. Yeah. Would be no sense.
Yeah,
Different
you down
dialect.
with that? You down with that?
It's like,
Down
what are
with
you talking about?
yeah, are you down? I'm up
Mhm.
here. I'm up here. You know,
Right.
uh,
Mhm.
those little things. But now when you say down with it, everybody knows. Cool with that. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yep.
We've changed things. I mean, those are two I can think of off the top of my head. But we've made it into something else and
Because
tweaked
we're
it,
so unique.
twisted it. And companies have taken Santa Claus, who was Saint Nick, who dressed in a big robe, and he had little elves, that were mischievous, and to coming down a chimney and giving everybody presents with reindeer.
Yeah.
And then putting on Christmas cards and Coke bottles and things like that because it sells, sells, sells. And now, little kids growing up, do they even know? I mean, who's telling them what Christmas is, where it came from, and where did Santa Claus legend come from? And is it all
Mhm.
about giving? Why is there a tree? You know,
Evergreens.
you know,
Yeah.
what blew my mind one day was I was just like so disturbed. It was like they were talking about the nativity scene, and you picture this little manger and the little baby Jesus in the manger, and you got the wooden
Mhm.
stable all around it. You see those little mangers up all over the place, right? You've
Yeah.
seen it.
Mhm.
Well, where was he born? In Bethlehem? That's in a desert. There is no wood. And come to find out that it's a cave or underground, and the
Mhm.
manger would have been stone because it's
Mhm.
all hollowed out and there's caves and things. Everything's underground there, or most of the stuff. The only wood stuff you would have would be maybe like a chair or a table upstairs. Wood was very valuable.
Mhm.
You didn't have wood for the animals. You didn't do
Yeah.
that. That was like a
The logistics. I
yeah,
mean, population of the world logistics from the Bible.
yeah.
It's off.
But yeah, exactly. But most people, when you say a manger, they're going to say a barn. They're going to picture a barn. Oh, baby
Mhm.
Jesus is born in a
I'm
barn.
singing Christmas songs in my head, away in a manger.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a cave, and it was probably wooden, and it was dark, and and
Mhm.
the animals were usually below, and the people lived up above them, And I seen the thing on. I was like, I watched the videos and stuff, and the guy saying, "Hey, you got it all wrong.
Mhm.
This is where it is. It ain't in some manger. They didn't have wood." And then I got to research. Yeah, wood was a wasn't there. There was no wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fascinating. The things we're told, the things we think, but they become our worlds because we believe them and then we create them and we keep perpetuating them. Or, I think that might be the changing thing too, is that people are starting to question things more these days. And I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful. Plus, just like you're the only person who could bring to the world your unique personality, your unique gifts, your unique talents, whatever it is. And that can be something that you share with just yourself, another person too. It could be something that you share with the world, that it's so important that we're just ourselves and being our genuine selves moving forward in the world, because no one could do it like you could. And we
Mhm.
need every little bit, right? That's why we're here. I believe that we're all here for a reason. And yeah,
Mhm.
feels good and exciting that there's so many unique, cool people out there to shine and do what they're doing. Because I mean, we do all play the bad guys and we all are learning new things, and we look back at sometimes and we think, wow, man, I can't believe I didn't know that, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that. And then it still happens, it still just keeps happening. It's like there's so much expansion. It's like, what's that saying? It's like, I've forgotten more than I'll ever, oh, I can't remember. It's
Yeah.
basically about, there's just
I
that
forgot
the
more
more
than
you
you'll ever
learn.
know.
What's that?
I forgot more than you'll ever know, or whatever, or something like that. Yeah.
It's
You know, I
something like that. Mm-hmm.
I remember the old timers, that I used to do horses and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, and he's like, I remember the old guy, oh, I forgot more than you'll ever know about horses. And I'm thinking, after a while, I was like, man, he's
Yeah,
probably right. He
he's
lived in
right.
those days. He lived.
Yes.
I remember the old guy Roy, and he was awesome. I hung out with him as much as I could when but he was getting older in those days, and we drove around and we were selling some horses to some Amish guy or something, and we were driving up and down the roads, and he's like, I would see that farm over there. I bought a horse over there, and then it was wild as shit, and I got on it and I rode it all, then we drove away. I rode it 15 miles up that way, and it took me 2 or 3 days. I camped out on the side of the road with that horse. By the time I got it to that next farm, that was a pretty good riding horse. And I traded to that guy for a different horse and a couple dollars cash. And then I took that horse and I rode it all the way over to the next town, 20 miles away over there. And it was a pretty good riding horse by the time I got there. And I sold that horse and I had some cash, and bought me a bus ticket back to, or whatever. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh,
Wow, the
that's how
tales.
we lived. The camping on the side of the road or some farmer's
I love
field,
it.
breaking a horse and riding it from farm to farm until some guy bought it from him. I
That's
thought,
wild,
and what a
literally.
way to break a horse. I mean, that's the only way. You ride him down, and I thought, wow, how amazing, is that?
Yeah, I don't think there are. I mean, I don't think there's any more wild horses.
No, but he would buy a horse that wasn't broke. I got
Yeah.
a 2-year old out there. You go rope them and catch them, and
Mm-hmm.
you can, take them. I can't do nothing with them, and you
That's a
give a
sad
couple
thing.
bucks and throw a saddle on it or whatever. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the way they did it, but
Feel you.
that was the end of that cowboy era. Now everybody's got to have a
Mm-hmm.
round pen and a pole shed and a hitching rail and all these fancy do jobs. He had a saddle, a blanket, and a bridle, and his wits, and and there
He
you
was an
go.
animal whisperer.
Yeah, you know,
He knew the skills.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
exactly. I'm like, but that's what they did back in the day. But of course, there wasn't as many people. Had old cars. And probably people used horses a lot yet too. So
Mm-hmm.
just a different era. I miss that. I just wish but now everything's changed since I was a kid, even. So
I know, like so many times over. Even I'm like almost 40. It's crazy.
yeah. Well, and that's why it's like we're talking about being positive and affecting other people, is because it's more important now than ever to go out and spread that positivity against the negativity and limit your own negativity. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, is limit your own.
Learning newer, healthier habits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that way, you can affect others, because now it's all on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and all that. Well, if you
All
made
the
a,
things.
and there's really no interaction. You can look on there, everybody's smiling or whatever. And it's like, ooh, who's getting the gratitude there? Me. I get like, look, I'm so happy. And then, boy, this is a crappy day. You know what I mean?
Dang.
And
Yeah, we don't have to subscribe to all of that. We don't have to be a part of it. Or learn our dosing right, like how much time we put in to those things. I think my life just got so much better when I wasn't a part of Facebook anymore. And I recently made a Facebook account again just for my band's sake. I had to have an account so that I could make a page for that. But it's not something that I'm like a part of, though. You know what I mean? It's like an advertising tool.
yeah,
And I'm thankful that that's not a part of my life. But I will say, though, that YouTube is a big part of my life. And that's something that I could have some more balance with. But um, I don't feel out of hand or anything like that. I mean, I'm the one who would judge it. And if I'm feeling happy about where I'm at, that's good. And when I need to spend some more time outside, I will. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, and that's the thing. When you're in control of your outlook on it, like you said, if I feel like it, I feel like it. And if I don't, you
It's
know,
okay.
yeah, and I use like Instagram kind of as an advertising outlet for the show. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really post pictures like myself or anything. It's all for the show. Who's coming on. I put
Mm-hmm.
a really nice one with you in it.
Yeah, I shared that out. Thank you.
And then but yeah, that's what it's kind of about. And so it's out there, so I'm trying to spread the message, like our show
Good.
tonight. I'm trying to spread the message. Who out
Mm-hmm.
there is going to, if this show affects one person and they
Amen.
go out and say, wow, I maybe I should smile at the neighbor, or maybe I should smile at the grocery clerk lady,
Or
or
maybe I
stuff.
shouldn't have that. I should think about that negative thought that just passed my mind about myself and change it.
Yeah, exactly. If it tells that person to do that one thing, this show was all worth it. Every bit of it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And that's the way I look at it. And remember, everyone, you can't just listen to the show either. You listen, and then you got to go out and do the work too. And
We show
that.
up.
Yes, yeah. People show up, and then it's like, yeah, I'm all pumped up, and then they go home and nothing happened, and why didn't nothing happen? Well, you didn't do anything. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
saying that you got to spend money for any of this stuff. You don't. It's all in your head, in your mindset, and where it's for
It's
you. This
magic.
is for you to change. But if you want to go out, if you're that person who wants to go out and be grumpy every day and
You're
do that,
allowed.
and you're happy with that, well, then fine, be that
Mm-hmm.
way. But there's
You
a
are
different
most
life on the other
allowed to
side.
do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
So
always the balance.
the balance, yes. Work
Mm-hmm.
is, like Smith says, work is hard. Yes, work is always hard. Nothing's easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. They'd be like, okay, great, just let it come on. Like, here, take this pill and you'll lose all the weight you want whenever you want. Just take another one.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't. You gotta change your eating habits, and you gotta work out at it. You gotta change your mindset about things, and then you'll lose weight. You can't just
Yeah,
affect
even
pill.
so much as changing our mindset between what is hard and what is not, because there are priorities and then what we want, and then maybe what our perception of the way the world is maybe not line up with easy or hard. And then when we start thinking about those things and understanding what they are, things become, I think, more clear. And hard is maybe not so hard anymore. It
Yeah.
seems maybe more like exciting, like it's like a challenge. We're building good habits now, and it's not something that's necessarily hard. It's just maybe something that not as many people got into, because once you build the habits, it's easier and easier. So yeah,
Well,
one day at a time. It only takes 66 days to build a new habit. Isn't that something?
I didn't know that.
Neuroplasticity. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Mary
Yeah.
Wynn says love is our superpower. I
Yes,
agree.
it is. And that way's here too. I love you guys. I'm so thankful everyone came for the show tonight.
Oh yeah, there was a big crowd in here. I think we had 26 people at one point or time or something.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Pretty good, pretty good. For a
Hmm.
Saturday night when people are out partying or something. But anyway, we should probably wrap this up. But for a minute, I am gonna stand up so everybody can see my cool uh,
I'm
pirates.
just trying to spig that
Get
off.
ready. Nina's gonna have her Oops, I gotta tip this up just a hair.
Yeah, I'm out of
Halloween
water.
get up, and
Your swashbuckler.
yeah, Oops, I gotta do the swashbuckling. There's the hair more. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so I'm all dressed up, ready for Nina's party, and I hope everybody else comes because I'm going to be there, and we're going to do some fun stuff here. We're going to hopefully I can find some spooky stories to tell, and we got
That'd
our
be cool.
pirate costume, and we're going to sail the seven seas, mass to sail, and then swab the deck, landlubbers. We're gonna set out for better territories right now. But
Beautiful.
but anyway, any last words?
Just thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me up here. I've had a wonderful time with you this evening. I've had a wonderful time with everybody in the chat this evening. And yeah, I guess my last words are thank you and do it like you feel it.
That's right. Where else can you get to hang out with a pirate for a good hour or so?
Right?
Arr!
This is a blessing. It's so good.
I guess I'll have you back on deck sometime again.
That
Arr!
sounds great, dude. Such good books. I'm so full of thankfulness.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming. It's been a joy. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Nina, go over to Nina's channel, buy some of her tickets, or come to her party dressed up as something. You put on some funny hat or put some makeup on or something like that. You're good to go. You don't have to dress up fancy like me. Just pretend to be whoever you want to be. And with that, remember, go out and be the frequency you want to receive, everyone. I love you all. Until next time, peace, everybody.
Thank you so much.